Hi, and thanks again for tuning in to watch us for another short Torah thought for this week's Shabbos Parshas Terumah, and we've just started Rosh Chodesh Adar as well. I'd like to start by telling you a story that happened to me just this week. This week, we had a friend of my son's who was invited to play at my son's house. The father is busy working. Sadly, they've lost the mother. And this little girl is at our house. Now, needless to say, she comes to our house. She's never been there before, and she's not exactly happy. So she comes in, and she's crying, and she's sulking, and I'm trying whatever I can do, and my wife's trying whatever she can do, and we're just not getting anywhere. No matter what we tried, no matter what we offered her, no matter what bribes we wanted to give her, the whole way through, it was just no, and crying, and turning around, and kicking, and we were just at wit's end. And at one point or another, I sat down to read my son a book, and my son then gets up, and walks over to this little girl and says to her, "Tzipora, do you want to read a book?" And she goes, "Yeah." And she got up, and she came, sat down next to me on the couch, read her a book. Then we went to the park, we did all kinds of things, and it was as if nothing had happened. And it was amazing, and I turned around to my wife and I said, "You know what? Who would have thought? I thought that I would be able to get her calmed down. Maybe my wife will be able to get her calmed down. But never did I think that it is my son, my 3-year-old, that be able to do that and would have that effect on her and be able to do something that my wife and I were not able to do." And I think with that thought, I'd like to move on to this week's parasha. In this week's parasha, we read about Parshas Terumah. Parshas Terumah speaks about the donations that were given by the Jewish people to the tabernacle. And it says, "Daber b'nei Yisrael," speak to the entire Jewish people of Yichli Terumah and let them give a donation. Anybody who wants to give towards this donation, Tikrosh Terumasi, you should take it. It was interesting because in those days there were many wealthy people. And sometimes there are two ways of going about fundraising. You can either call a parlor meeting and you can call in all the wealthy people and you can say to them, "Come on in, this is what we'd like you to do, who can offer X amount of money, who can offer this is our budget, can we please fill the budget?" But we didn't just call in the wealthy people, we called in everybody. We asked everybody to come in and to join us for this specific thing, because we said it is important that the entire Jewish people play a part in building the Mishkan, not only going to the wealthy people. And this is really the message that I learned this week as well with my son, is that everybody has a part to play, and everybody has something to give, and everybody has something positive to contribute. Some on a bigger scale, some on a smaller scale. But nobody is worthless, and nobody has nothing to give. So as you consider Purim, as we're coming up to Purim and any other things that you come past, you think to yourself, do I have something to contribute? Do I have something to give? You'll probably come up with the answer being yes. Usually there is something you can contribute. Usually there is something you can give. And maybe this week, start pulling your weight and giving just that little bit more. Have a good Shabbos.